We're living through this huge shift. It's all about one of the most defining relationships of our time, the one between us and artificial intelligence. So today, let's really get into it. Let's dig into the reality of chatbots and figure out what this all means for us, for our future.
I mean, really think about that for a second. It wasn't that long ago, right? If you needed help with something, you talked to a person. A machine, it was just a tool. It did what you told it to. It didn't talk back. It didn't understand. And we just assumed that's how it'd always be. And then, poof, almost overnight the whole game changed.
And the crazy thing is, this change didn't come with a big bang. It was quiet. A silent revolution, you could say. It was happening right there, behind our screens, while these simple tools were quietly becoming these incredibly complex communicators.
What's really mind-blowing here is just how fast all of this happened. I mean, back in the 90s, you had these clunky, scripted answers. Then in the 2000s, some basic automation. But once machine learning hit the scene, whoa, things just took off, like exponentially. By the time we got to the 2020s, we weren't talking about simple bots anymore. Nope, we were dealing with actual conversational AI.
And that right there, that's the key difference. This new kind of AI wasn't just fed a list of pre-written replies. No way. It was trained on these just gigantic data sets. We're talking trillions of words from all over the internet. It was learning how we talk, how we think. And all of a sudden, these machines could do so much more than just spit back an answer. They could hold a conversation, they could write an essay for you, they could tackle really complex problems, they could even create stories that, honestly, felt human.
So naturally, this leads to the big human question, right? Because as this super powerful tech started showing up everywhere, in our lives, at our jobs, it created this real tension. On one side, you've got this incredible drive for efficiency, and on the other, a whole lot of human uncertainty.
From a business perspective, it's easy to see the appeal. It's a gold rush, right? 24/7 support, no breaks, no paychecks, no one complaining. It's the ultimate dream of efficiency. But for the actual people, the human workforce, that dream, well, it started to look a lot more like a nightmare of uncertainty.
And that's when this one single question started to echo through, well, pretty much every industry, from writers to coders to customer service agents. For the very first time, millions of us were looking at a machine and having to ask ourselves, for real, am I replaceable? Is my job next?
But, the real story is always a little more complicated than that. To really get it, we have to break down the core differences. We're talking about machine logic versus human consciousness. It's code versus conscience.
Okay, so here's the bottom line. When it comes to speed, logic, raw data crunching, AI is in a league of its own. Unbeatable. It can even simulate empathy, kind of fake it based on all the patterns it's learned. But, and this is a big but, it doesn't have real experience. It doesn't have genuine emotion. It doesn't have that deep understanding that you only get from, living. It can't actually feel joy or sadness. It can just tell you what those things are supposed to look like.
And this really gets to the core of what makes us, well, human. What we value in each other isn't just swapping data, right? It's about connection. Think about it. A doctor doesn't just give you a diagnosis, they offer comfort. A teacher doesn't just list facts, they inspire you. That feeling of being seen, of being understood, that's something code just can't touch. Not yet, anyway.
Okay, but we have to be real here. We can't just ignore the darker side of all this. The risks are very real. I mean, this technology can be turned into a weapon to spread misinformation like wildfire. It can create deepfakes so convincing you'd never know the difference. It can be used to manipulate us. And maybe the scariest part, in a way, is how it could slowly erode real, genuine human connection, replacing it with something artificial. And this whole thing forces us to ask a really deep, kind of philosophical question. If a machine can imitate a human perfectly, if you can't tell the difference, does it even matter that it isn't real? From a pure efficiency standpoint, maybe the answer is no. But when you start thinking about the future of our society, about who we are, well, the answer gets a whole lot more complicated.
But look, this doesn't have to be some doom and gloom dystopian story. What if we're not heading for conflict? What if we're on the brink of the greatest partnership in human history? Let's explore that, the collaborative future.
If you look back through history, this isn't the first time we've been here. Every huge technological jump, think about the printing press or the internet, it always caused massive disruption. And yes, some jobs disappeared. But what also happened? Entirely new industries were created. New roles we couldn't have even imagined. New possibilities opened up.
History shows us that we humans, we don't just get replaced. We adapt. We innovate. And you know what? We're already seeing it happen right now. People aren't fighting AI. They're learning to work with it. You've got writers using it to spark new ideas. Businesses are using it to grow like never before. Students have it as this incredible personalized tutor. The whole mindset is shifting, away from replacement and towards collaboration. And this all points to a really fundamental truth, I think. AI is an amazing tool for processing the what. The data, the facts, the patterns. But it's up to us, to humans, to provide the why. The context, the purpose, the meaning behind it all. The why, that's always going to be our job.
So at the end of the day, there's no denying it. This technology is incredibly powerful, and it is absolutely transforming our world. But here's the thing to remember. The future isn't already written. This is a story that we are all writing together right now. And the most powerful tool we have to shape what comes next isn't some complex algorithm. It's our own judgment, our values, our humanity. The pen is still in our hands.